What's up, everybody?
Yeah, another good evening from the studio.
From the studio, this is kind of funny. Like we're two this week. For people that don't know, you get to tune in next week to hear what we talked about yesterday.
Yeah,
Like we had to do a little pre-recording. Pretty cool. Which I guess it's pretty cool for some listeners. Some listeners will hate it.
Yeah, for those of you that hate Farmer Wants a Wife, Tough Titty said to Kitty.
Yeah.
We'll go easy on it tonight. But yeah, we had a pretty cool in-studio guest, which I guess you put it out there on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's not a secret or anything. Yeah. Ty, the most local of the farmers to us, was generous enough with his time to come and sit in studio with us, talk Farmer Wants a Wife. But that episode will drop next week because that'll be the morning after the finale.
Yeah. You will want to watch the finale before you listen to the show.
Yeah, so you need to watch the finale next Thursday.
Yeah. But it was awesome. Ty is awesome. About a little over 2 hour drive for him here. Not terrible, but that's still a pretty good little journey.
Yeah, 4 hour round trip.
Yeah,
just to come talk to a couple of rednecks.
Yeah, which he fit right in.
Oh yeah. No, he was fantastic. He and Brandon have both been fantastic.
They have.
The two that we've had on.
So. We are like seriously trying to put our heads together to get us together. Like I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Get maybe Brandon and Ty, and I don't know. Nathan I think we'll probably have Nathan on at some point.
And Mitchell's not too far from us.
That's true.
He'd be a little over 3 hours, 3.5 maybe. He's the other side of Nashville, but yeah.
But I will add, like, even if you're like, man, I don't like this show, man, I just urge you, give it a chance to listen to this episode.
We started watching it as a joke.
Yes.
Like had zero intention. Had joked about watching it, and then I was like, I'll turn it on. And then it kind of got sucked in.
That sounds it. Yeah, man. Like, and everybody that I've talked to that's actually watched it is like, man, that damn show is actually entertaining.
No,
I'm like,
it's an hour. If you skip the commercials, 45 minutes, whatever.
Yep.
Of kind of mindless entertainment. And I mean, and now that we've gotten to know a couple of the guys, like we genuinely have an interest in them. Yeah, finding happiness.
Yep,
finding love.
Yeah, I mean they've been cool, man. And like I said, Ty's got like almost like a Matthew McConaughey-esque to him a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
like he's kind of got that vibe.
Yeah.
So I think give it a shot. Listen to the episode, and if you hate it, you can write in and tell us. But we still like Ty. We're still gonna have him back on the show.
Yeah,
because he was awesome. But that's next week. Before we get into this one.
Yeah.
Gotta give a shout out.
Agzaga.com. They are your online ag retailer.
Out of Missouri as well, like our homeboy Ty.
Yeah, that's right. They've got all kinds of specials always going on. But of course, you can use that Talk Dirt, all caps, all one word, discount code. Everything's always on sale. If you're using it, get your 10% off.
And the bad to the bone free shipping.
Yep. The net wrap. You won't beat their deals on net wrap. Trust me, I've looked around, shopped around. That's even before you use the code. And when you buy the American flag net wrap, they'll send you an actual American flag. We've talked about that before.
Yep.
I just got mine in. They're going to hang mine up in the barn, so that'll be a project for me over these next few days.
There you go.
But yeah, check them out.
All right, guys. Got a few things we're going to get into. First, we got a couple of messages here. It's going to read these. We got some emails. Always love the emails. If you have questions or anything you want to ask us, do not hesitate to email us. All right, Trey Willard writes in. Trey he's been a loyal listener. Like I've interacted. We've interacted with him several times.
Yep.
So here he says, "Hey Logan, it's Trey here that reached out. Was lucky enough to make a wallet for Bobby Lee." That's right. Yeah, he made that awesome wallet.
Yep.
Hope everything is going good. I was reaching out because I heard you talking about a plastic layer and drip tape and raised bed planting. I have 6 years of experience with raised bed planting and just wanted to say if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I probably will, especially on the drip tape because I have not gone into that yet. He said, also on your plastic layer, keep an eye on the plastic liner on the bottom of the implement and keep it replaced, which can be a royal pain in the butt. But keep an eye on it and don't let it wear out too bad, or else it will eat into the metal, causing a bigger headache. I will have to look at that. I wonder how many, Trey, you're listening, message me on Instagram or email back here. Curious, how many acres do you have to go over before it gets to that? Because we're still pretty small scale, so I feel like it's got to take a while, but I don't know. And he said, thanks again. Reach out if you have any questions on the raised bed deal. I might have an answer. I will probably be reaching out to you, man, because especially on the drip tape, that can get a little intricate. My thing's got a lay, like a wheel that it'll run the drip tape in there.
Yeah.
But I haven't tried that yet. Kind of wish I would have on the tomatoes, because we did put tomatoes down. All right, Trey, appreciate you writing in. One of these days, I'm going to have to nab me a wallet or something. That wallet Bobby these guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Bryson writes in. This one was funny. Like I have read this one and I was like, this would be fitting since we're going to have a whole episode in honor of Bryson. Our next episode will be dedicated to him. What's going on, fellas? Been a while since I've had time to drop y'all a line. Logan, you're slacking, son. No YouTube video in weeks. I know. Seriously, though, make one for planting, especially one when you were planting green into some heavy vegetation. That is something that I can't recall seeing on any other YouTube channels and would be interested. I need to do that. I will give a shout out to Griggs, Matt and Kelly that we had on. They are like the kings of planting green. Like, and they do some really intricate green planting. Like, you know, they'll even burn down just the strip in between. Like, they do some really cool stuff. So I would recommend checking out the Griggs. I think it's just Griggs Farms.
Yeah, Griggs Farms, yeah.
Check them out on YouTube. They've got some awesome stuff. I have been kicking around some different ideas for my YouTube channel, but it would be totally different. I've got some kind of, I don't know, some fun ideas. So just keep your eyes open. Bobby Lee, if you make another trip down to LA for the horse event, let me know. You were only 30 minutes or so away from my stomping grounds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Folsom, Louisiana is where we were 6 weeks or so ago.
Yeah.
For a horse show for my daughter. Yeah, we'll be probably making some trips because my wife just bought another horse. Basically, she's going to start, back showing herself, get this horse going. By the time that horse is really ready to go, it'll be about the time my daughter's ready to move up from her current pony to that horse. And so, now that both of them are going to be showing for a little while, I'm sure they'll be chomping at the bit, no pun intended, to get down there. And that's a nice place. I said, most places I go, I'm like, oh man, this is a cool place. I don't know that I could live here. Now, that area of Louisiana, man, I was like, if something happened, if the commies totally ruined Tennessee for some reason, and I had to, become a refugee somewhere, you
could see that working.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, people were nice. It was kind of had a home type feel to it. You're far enough south that I doubt they have to deal with quite the winter weather. They got a little longer growing season than we do. A lot of cattle around there. They probably graze, another month or so out of the year longer than we do. So, yeah. But I don't think we always brag about Tennessee and how we're pretty well insulated from a lot of that BS. But I mean, we see what has happened with Nashville, and I'm afraid it's only a matter of time before that disease, begins to take hold. But hope not.
Well, there you go. Yeah, if you're out there, look him up. That's Bryson. Bryson, shoot Bobby Lee a message.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll have to ask my wife. I'll ask her tomorrow if there's another show this year, if it'll be the same time next spring before we get back down there. Yeah.
All right. And then so here's why I said we'll dedicate Bryson. And Bryson's been a very loyal listener as well. Like, I recognize the name, and I've seen his interaction. So he says, I won't harp on it too much, but I will be happy when this reality TV BS y'all have been watching is over. It was cool to hear about that potato farmer guy's operation, though. See, dude, and I mentioned this in the episode with Ty. It's actually one of the things, obviously, we got sucked into the show because it is entertaining. But I said this with Ty, it's rare now that I feel like on a major media platform are farmers being shown in a positive light. Like, it's typically like, Roundup's giving us cancer that the farmers are giving.
Yeah, if farmers are on major network TV, the news or something, it's usually not anything positive. Something tragic has happened, or they're bashing us for some reason or another.
So that's what I appreciate the show. It's like women are flocking to us like the salmon of Capistrano. So
yeah.
Do you know the reference?
Yeah, I do. Hold on, which movie? It was Jim Carrey. Was that Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah,
he's like, boy, I'd love to eat her liver with some fava beans and a nice cold bottle of Chianti.
Yeah. I didn't remember all those exact lines, but yeah.
Oh, dude, that's one of my favorite lines. Or like when the dude walks by the chick and he goes, man, look at the fun bags on that hose hound. And then he goes, yeah, he must work out.
Yeah. Yeah, they were some goofballs.
They were. Well, dude, this thing, man, I mean, and the guys have been really cool. Brandon is really awesome. Ty is really cool. So, which Brandon, we actually talked quite a bit of farming. Ty's, I'll warn you. I mean, that episode is pretty much 90% about Farmer Wants a Wife.
Yeah, we talked some, of course, team roping and some of the stuff that he has done. He definitely has an ag background. So.
Yep. Yeah. Actually went to Martin.
Yeah.
For a little bit. Yeah, Bobby Lee and them y'all kind of knew each other a little bit.
Yeah, we crossed paths. I did not know him when we were in school there, but we got talking like, we were actually there in school. We overlap at the same time. So, yeah, pretty cool.
All righty, so he says, been busy lately, so I am an episode behind. Just finished up the one with Corbett. One thing y'all touched on was the vertical integration we have seen in the pork/chicken industry and how it is tough to do that with beef. Then a little while later, the deal with Walmart starting their own processing was mentioned. So he said this, well, Walmart is at the tip of the spear with vertically integrating the beef industry. They are starting their own processing to build on what they have already put in place. A while back, they teamed with 44 Farms, a well-known, high-quality Angus ranch in Texas. Their program is similar to how the chicken companies work. They contract a rancher and his ranch to raise and run Walmart/44 Farm genetics, adhering to the program guidelines and mandates. The cattle are then moved to Walmart/44 Farm owned feedlots for finishing. The one piece to the puzzle they have been missing is the processing, which they are now starting up. Any competition for the Big Four is good, but the Walton/Walmart is definitely not who I would like to see doing this. They are very cozy with our favorite God complex having nerd Bill Gates and the Gates Foundation. Keep up the podcast. Logan, pick up the camera. Enjoy all the watching and listening as always. Bobby Lee, what is the plan for the hair? Getting long in the back. You have to take that hat off in a video before you cut it. What is the use of having an awesome skullet if you are not going to show it? Have a good one, fellas.
I wonder about the hair all the time. Like what am I going to do with it? Which I distinctly remember the eyelast, because I used to hit it.
Are we going hats off? I'll just go.
I'm
join
gonna
you.
put the hat back.
No, man, come on. We got to go hats
I'll start
off.
To get self-conscious here in a minute, but
I'm gonna join you.
I have to go hatless all day at the vet clinic, and it was the end of June, like somewhere, last week or so of June last year was the last time I put a razor to it, and I have, other than I've trimmed it just with some scissors around my ears a couple of times.
Yeah,
I have cut it none since then. And
well, I'm with you.
Did I tell you, been kind of making fun of myself and like different like creepy movie characters. The latest one I've thought of that I think might be the one, and I don't look like him otherwise, I don't think, but Murray from Stranger Things.
Oh, the dude with the beard?
Yeah.
You kind of do get the same hairdo.
Oh,
yeah.
He does more of a comb over, and like my go-to in the mornings, like I just put some gel and just slick it straight back. Because it is, like, the few hairs I have up top are long.
They are.
I have to do something with them. But
I didn't think about old Murray.
I really don't know. I've kind of committed myself. It's like, all right, I'm going to get a full year. But when June rolls around, I really don't know.
Is that when it'll be a full year, is June?
Yeah, in June will be a full year since I last.
I think I'm in it.
Starting from nothing. Then,
I think I'm just going to keep going.
And part of me is like, yeah, I'm just going to keep rolling with it.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, it'll take me a year to get back to that point. So, I don't know.
I think we ought to go till December.
I get more used to it all the time. And I was looking at myself in the mirror today. It's like, I'm not saying it looks good, but like the creepiness of it, I guess I've just gotten used to it.
Yeah.
And so,
well, then when you have a hat on, you look like you're 10 years younger.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I just, for my day job, where I pretty much make all my money. Yeah. But of course, I guess my clients are pretty kind. Like and some of them will comment on it, but it's always like
Your hair looks so nice.
Generally, I was like, oh, I love the long hair. Yeah. And, I got there's a couple of guys, probably more our type demographic, about our age, like, hell yeah, man. Just
let her go.
just like flipping a middle finger to male pattern bald to say you ain't worried about it. I was like, yeah.
That's what you look at.
Like, don't you dare cut it. Like, let it just roll.
I think we need to go all year. I think we need to go all this year. I'm in. I mean, mine's getting long as shit. Hell, man, when mine is down, if I put it in my face, I mean, man, my hair is like, I literally will disappear in hair.
You look like you're in like a garage band.
Yeah. Oh, I mess with like Levi when I get out of the shower. I'll put my hair down and you can't even see my face. And he's like, you need a haircut. And,
I love to, like, and I'm kind of being goofy. I like go with my wife and I like just fling it from side to side. She just laugh at me. Yeah, we got it. We're putting in a pool and it's almost ready, I think. He said they'll be done by next weekend. We could swim, which will still be pretty cold, I'm sure. Which, hell, it was nearly 90 yesterday.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this summer swimming, like,
you'll be able to fling your hair around.
Just sling that hair back and forth. But anyway,
there you go.
About my
That's what it is. You're giving the middle finger to male pattern baldness.
Yeah, like it's not affecting me.
That's right.
Like, I don't care. I'm just rolling with it.
It's kind of like a cowboy hat, and like we said on like a mustache, a cowboy hat. You got to wear it. You can't let it wear you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, Bryson, we appreciate you writing in, man. Like I said, you be sure to tune in next week because you are going to love that episode about Farmer Wants a Wife. And also, I am going to pick up the camera, but it may not be. I've got an interesting idea for what I'm going to do with my YouTube channel. I've been wanting to make it different, and it would be different. All right, that's all we got right now. But I got some questions, or not questions, some write-ins here, and then one of like, do you remember when Rock 103 used to do the dumbass of the day?
Yep.
Well, we got one, but I'm going to save it for last. All right, my dang hair is trying to get in my face. I can put it in a full ponytail now.
I can like, I don't know.
Do the Steven Seagal thing?
Well, mine ain't quite that long, but yeah, I can pull it. And like my daughter's like, Daddy, do not do that. I do that being goofy, just around the house.
I wore mine in a samurai thing one day. I actually went out. I had it pulled, the top pulled back, still the back down.
Like a man bun?
No. It's like it's a single ponytail.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like a samurai. Like I want a sword. I'd like to carry a sword. All right, I got to read this thing first. This dude, this is what somebody wrote on Instagram, and I just thought this was pretty hilarious. I think I sent you this video of. I'm trying to think of the nicest way to describe this video. We sent some interesting memes on Instagram. Do you remember when the two dudes get married and one of them has no arms or legs? And he carries him.
Yes, I don't remember the exact context of the meme or whatever, but yeah. It's
just one of the weirdest videos of all time.
It's two dudes get married, which, I mean, that is what it is, whatever.
But one of them has no arms or legs, and he's...
But it's like, I don't remember. Like they were making fun of themselves or something. I don't remember.
I don't know. It was a really bizarre video.
Yeah, bizarre doesn't even begin to describe it.
No, but this comment was so good. I had to screenshot it. This guy says, and I will clean.
Well, and that's the good thing about a lot of those videos. It's like I just go straight to the comments.
I do too.
I want to see what people are saying.
I do too. I will bleep the F word. I'll clean it up a little bit. I've smoked dope, chewed rope, danced, French romanced, effed, farted, fought, shot the moon, and drove big trucks. I've been to Janesville, Maine, Spain, Spokane, and Fort Wayne. Seen 3 world fairs, been around the world twice, looked danger in the face, and seen goats F in the marketplace. But I ain't ever seen no shit like this. That was like the best comment I've read.
Is that a movie line or something?
I don't know. I feel like it is.
Yeah.
But if that dude ran that out of memory, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Like
he's had that one saved in his archive just for a while.
Yes, he's had to, like, but I envy this because, you know, back in the day, old dudes, they had this shit in their heads.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's one of the things my dad, like, we'll pass this dude's house, and I think I've shared this before, but the guy's dead now, but we'd pass this guy's house, and my dad'd be like, that's where so-and-so lived. And I'll say, oh yeah, and he says, that's the linest one white man that ever shit behind a pair of shoes. And that was like one of my favorite lines. Like, I try to remember that one because, yeah, the lyingest one white man that ever shit behind a pair of shoes. And I can remember, like, as a kid at the shop, some of the shit those old guys would say.
Oh yeah.
Like, what do they call it? Not a soliloquy. What do they call those? There's like a name for those phrases. You know, it's kind of like, man, he talked the horns off a billy goat, or can't find his ass from a hole in the ground. Like, I wish I could just remember those.
A lot of my education came sitting right there on a bar stool.
Yes, probably good and bad.
At the parts counter. Oh, God, yes. Like,
yeah.
But just life lessons and a lot of the bad stuff you hear, you glean something useful from that too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, these were all World War II vets. Like, these were literally like grain of or just salt of the earth dudes. Yeah. All right, so Nick Martin writes in, and Nick has been also a loyal fan. The show listener, he wrote on Spotify. So I do check our Spotify things when people write on there. And Nick writes in, and so he says his vote is for John Wayne, I guess between Clint Eastwood, but he says John Wayne for sure. Y'all do a segment on your Mount Rushmore of classic country artists if you haven't already. Love the podcast. And he says he's got George Jones, Merle Haggard, Waylon Jennings, Conway Twitty, and Johnny Cash.
Yeah, hard to go wrong.
All those. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do our top three. Let's do our top three. You go first.
Okay, so what was his criteria? Just
classic country artists.
So, and I may not go back quite as far as he did. Just like the next generation.
Just don't you say Garth Brooks.
Man, Garth would be like 90s Garth was peak.
It was, yeah.
But that was, I was born in 83, so like 90s country, like that's it. If I'm done listening to if I'm just listening to music on Spotify, that's what I go to.
Yeah.
The channel I have is called Trashy 90s Country.
Trashy 90s.
I'm like, whatever I do, I don't want no damn Dixie Chicks to pop up on there. I give those the
thumbs down
or whatever.
Yeah.
Filter that shit out, and you better not be no damn Rascal Flats or none of that shit.
Oh
either.
Gosh, yeah.
So if I'm gonna go more like 80s 90s country.
All right, top three. In order.
I'm just gonna do three. All right, I got to put George Strait in there.
All right.
And I know a lot of people,
I roll.
Yeah, but what was it, 50 number one hits, whatever. There's no denying him. I'm going to put Garth in there. Just because Garth was, he was a global,
What about Chris? You going to put Chris Gaines?
No, and Garth, I don't know that he would be on my list of guys to have a beer with, but man, I could go on and on about all his hits in the 90s.
On Thunder Rolls is a classic.
Thunder Rolls,
Friends in Low Places.
Oh gosh, yeah. Rodeo, because I loved
damned old rodeo. The dance
ain't going down.
Yep.
Yeah. They so you got those two. You know what? I may say Brooks and Dunn.
Okay, they're good. I can get down with that.
I could go on and on. Alan Jackson.
Yeah.
Even some. I like a lot like the Joe Diffie and Mark Chestnut. The guys that weren't like.
Didn't get it all the.
Yeah, like they weren't just the upper level.
Yeah.
But man, just it and again, it's nostalgia for me. I hear some of that stuff. I'm like, damn, I'm 10 years old on Friday nights at the riding club, riding my pony, listen to them blaring some Kicks 106.
Oh yeah. Well, see, that's tough for me because I've never been a big country guy.
Well, I'm not anymore. Like I just mentioned, Kicks 106. I will not turn on country radio.
Oh yeah, no, it'd be Morgan Wallen and not country music to me. But
and see, I like Morgan. Okay, he's a Tennessee fan, so I'm biased there. And there's a few of the other guys, you know, but a lot of them aren't the ones getting played on. It's Kane Brown and like, I mean, I don't even know the names of most of these dudes. You're like, what station is this?
Yeah.
One of the Memphis stations, I can't remember which one it is, on Sunday mornings for 2 hours, they do classic country. And used to every Sunday morning, I would message them and be like, if y'all like ratings, y'all would just keep doing this.
Yeah.
It's the only 2 hours I listen to radio. But now I listen to classic rock the rest of the time. If I'm going to listen to just FM radio.
Yeah. Well, that's what, if I had to rank class, I'm going to do classic, because honestly, I listen to more classic country than I do any. If I listen
when you say classic, what era do you mean?
Merle Haggard.
Okay, yeah.
Merle Haggard.
I love some, like you said, Merle Haggard, George Jones, Johnny Cash.
Yeah. See, I like Johnny, but if I was going to put top three, it's Merle Haggard, David Allen Coe.
Yeah.
And man, it would probably be George Jones, my third, old No-Show Jones. I'd probably say that. But what I'm going to do, if I was going to say your route, it would be Alan Jackson, Brooks and Dunn.
Alan Jackson he definitely was in the conversation.
Yeah, and possibly Toby Keith.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, I would say Toby probably in there. But I'm going to change my top three a little bit. And mine, because again, I'm like a metalhead, so I'm going to say top three for me, like Mount Rushmore. When I think of Mount Rushmore, I'm thinking like influential. Like these guys made an impact on the music scene. Rock / like metal. And I got to say, Led Zeppelin would be number one. Man, the Beatles can piss off. Man, they ain't got shit on Led Zeppelin. So Led Zeppelin, and I'm thinking influential. I'm going to say Led Zeppelin. Oh, man, it's hard. I'm going to say probably Black Sabbath. And the third one, I'm going to come a little newer, but I'm actually, it's a toss up for me on the third one between Metallica and Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Like that's where I struggle.
Yeah, if I had to go rock, Metallica would definitely be in there.
Yeah.
Alice Chains. Yeah, and you mentioned Toby Keith. Like, yeah.
I know you should feel bad. You forgot Toby Keith.
Well, and
you did not honor his death.
I almost feel like he's even a little newer than some of those guys. But no, the 90s is what really when he hit it huge. You talk about somebody influential because his record label, like he's the one that's, and maybe this isn't a feather in his cap so much, but you know, he was the first record label I believe that had signed Taylor Swift. So
really, damn you, Toby Keith.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah.
Damn you. No, I won't talk about a man that's passed on. All right.
No, he recognized talent.
He did. Yeah, he did. Well, there's our top three. And yeah, I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, I would throw some Pantera in the mix. I'm a big Pantera fan. Not as much Slayer, but I love some Pantera. I never got into Van Halen a whole lot. Yeah. Were you a Van Halen or Van Hagar guy?
Man, and I'm not even that knowledgeable. I just, but
are you? Would you go for AC/DC? Do you like Bon Scott or Brian Johnson?
Shit, I don't even know who that is. I know who AC/DC is.
The old singer that sang Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap that had kind of the higher pitch tone, or then Brian, Bon Scott was the one that died. Brian Johnson is the one they had now.
Yeah.
Like their guy now. What's your favorite AC/DC song?
I don't know.
Big Balls?
No. You know, the intro for Hell's Bells is pretty crazy.
That is a good one. Yeah, that is a good one. That I don't know who is. I don't remember if that's Brian. That's probably Brian Johnson, but that is a badass intro. And for those who are about to rock, that's a badass intro.
Yeah.
Thunderstruck has been played so much that I hate it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, you know, I love Metallica and I love Enter Sandman.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
It's just like, oh, yeah, it's so...
If it comes on, I turn it.
Well, and like so many people like start, I'm like, name the band. And like people that, like they're like, I love this song, and they're like, again, I just mentioned or admitted I don't know a whole lot of classic rock trivia.
Yeah.
They're like they can't even tell you it's Metallica. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah.
You know what Metallica song to this day still pumps me up if I hear the intro?
The Unforgiven is.
Oh, that one's badass.
Yeah.
No Leaf Clover.
Yeah.
I love that one. And that one was, well, I mean, it's old now, but yeah, man.
I love just like if I need to like run through a brick wall. Sad but true.
Yeah, that's good. And Wherever I May Roam.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the Metallica.
Yeah. That might be. I don't know that it's underrated, but yeah, I love
that like little intro is pretty
the
sick.
way it starts out. Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah. There you go.
That one might be.
Y'all comment. Y'all comment on YouTube. Comment on Spotify. I want to know your top 3 country artists or rock artists, like whatever. And I'm talking.
We didn't even mention Skinner.
No, but I'm not.
That's another one that they get so over.
I almost hate Skinner. I mean, and then some people that's like blasphemy, but the song "Sweet Home Alabama" makes me want to ram a screwdriver into my ears
for all kinds of reasons. I'm the same. Yeah, but
even Freebird, and we even had
so overdone.
Like a great uncle that had Freebird played at his, or he wasn't a great uncle. Well, he was just a cousin.
Yeah.
That had. I was telling somebody about this not long ago. He had Freebird played at his funeral.
Like
the like, and everybody's just sitting there like.
I don't know that if I've said it here. So I was sitting next to our grandmother during the funeral, and they're playing Freebird, and I'm sure knowing him just because he
did it on purpose.
Yeah, and he told him, he's like, no, we're gonna play Freebird, and it's gonna be the full 9 minute the guitar solo and everything. And so it's just going on and on. And our grandmother leans over, she's like, I think somebody forgot to cut it off. And our sweet grandmother, she didn't know it.
No, yeah.
But, that was pretty awesome.
When I die, I think I'm going to get the live version of Dazed and Confused. It's like 12 minutes long. I think that'd be a good one.
Well, I've thought that too, like, especially, if I died young or anything, like, I've often told my wife, I'm like, I don't even know that I want y'all to have a funeral. Like, y'all have a big cookout.
Yeah.
Like just
cook your body and eat you. Is that what you were thinking?
I don't know that I would go quite there, but
like an Indian ritual, like consume your spirit.
Y'all throw down.
Yeah,
like one last party and
break out the rare breed. Just get hammered.
But anyway, we went way off the rails.
That's all right. All right. So our dumbass of the day. This is ag. This has got us on ag. So I put up one of my memes that I'd shared on Instagram, and it was about the spraying, and I shared it just to be a wienerhead. I knew it would rile some people up, but I didn't care. So this guy comments, and I'll throw his name. His name's Austin Moss on there, but he commented, and he actually, the way it works, there was a guy that commented on there, and he said, I just got done spraying glyphosate. And he's a cattleman, so he was actually spraying, I don't know if he was spraying kind of around some of his pastures or something, but he doesn't do grains. And the guy commented to him, this Austin Moss commented to him and said, where do you sell your grain so that I can be sure to not buy any from there?
Yeah, I sell it at the local grain elevator where it is then distributed
worldwide.
Yeah, to markets that I couldn't even tell you. Goes into, depending on the product, goes into making all sorts of other secondary and tertiary products and byproducts going to animal feed. So yeah, good luck.
Well, and that's what I like. Which the guy commented back to him and said, I don't grow any grain. And then I commented to him and I was like, dude, you don't like go select the grain that gets used. And I even was like, and do you realize that 90% of the products used, like as far as crops grown and harvested in the U.S., are GMO and have had herbicides sprayed on them? Like, it's like, do you realize the extent of that? So it just got worse as he went. So here's where I actually shut him down. This was actually a relatively short back and forth because I shit on him here. So he says, that's all good. Or I said something. I said, yeah, all these products, I said cotton, corn, and soybeans, for example. I was like, all of them, the majority of them used, have had herbicide sprayed on them. And he goes, that's all good. I don't need cotton since it's not 1864 anymore. And I grow my own non-GMO organic wheat/oat/rye, and I mill it for my bread, so I'm good on your grains. Thanks, though. Regenerative agriculture for the win. Hopefully, whoever owns the land after you can do what is right for the land and its health. And that comment was so damn stupid.
Genetic modification is what allows us to be even more regenerative.
Yeah,
we're not plowing. We're planting green into cover crops because we can then come behind it and spray.
Yep.
And it was a total self-own. Like
it was, and it tripped me out. He's like,
and why is he? He was just trying to.
He mills his own for his bread.
I would think I want to call BS on that, but well, if you're doing all that, why are you worried about where anybody else is selling grain? Because you just said you don't have to buy any grains anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm like, but I'm laughing because I want to be like, is the only thing you eat bread?
And you wear no cotton clothing?
Well, that's what I came back.
About, not good for the environment. So you're wearing
synthetic materials.
Yeah, basically plastic clothes is all you wear. And I'll admit, I'm sitting here wearing a shirt that's not cotton.
Yeah.
I got my cotton pants on, my cotton underwear, and cotton socks. But yeah, you kidding me? Like, you don't wear any cotton? Like, no, get out of here.
Well, that's what it killed me. It said 1864. So I commented back and I said, so you don't wear any clothing that contains cotton, I'm assuming? I didn't realize they stopped using it in clothes back in 1864. I had a crazy idea that it was still heavily used in items like clothes, bedding, feed for cattle, oils, etc. Man, I can't believe I was so wrong.
All sorts of medical supplies? Like, what kind of Q-tips do you use?
Well, I told him, I said, the confidence of the ignorant is going to be our downfall. And that was like exactly how I feel. It's the confidence of the ignorant. Like, one of the common things that I see online with that kind of stuff is the most dumb people are the most certain in their ways.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's kind of the negative part of the internet. Yeah, it's the idiots that are oftentimes the loudest.
Yes, and he looked like a guy that might only eat bread. He was very soft looking.
Yeah.
But he didn't look like he was wearing like a homemade shirt that was made out of like non-GMO cotton that he had sewed himself.
Yeah, I guess he could buy all organic cotton clothes.
God, I'd hate to know how much that would cost.
Yeah.
I bet you there is a market. I bet you there's somebody that's like, hey, there's a bunch of dumbasses that will literally pay
you see
a premium.
Some stuff organized or advertised, marketed as being like organic cotton. I don't know how easy it is to shop and buy all your clothing that way. I'm sure there's probably somebody out there that's
they got on like some burlap sack underwear and they're like scratching and itching real bad.
Yeah. Well,
whatever.
So yeah, he's our dumbass of the day.
Yes, Austin Moss,
dumbass of the week.
I tagged him in the story. I put up a story and it was like over 90% of U.S. corn, cotton, and soybeans are GMO and have had herbicide used. And I put his comment up on there and put it down there, and it tagged him in the story, and he didn't say a damn thing.
Well,
so don't be look, if you're gonna be a dumbass, then know you're a dumbass. Like, and try to not be a dumbass anymore.
Yeah.
Like, don't just be happy to be one and be confident in that. Like, try to fix that.
Yep.
Or you got anything?
Well, there was a news item. I think it actually became official, or was the press release was last Friday. So,
okay.
Of course, after we recorded last week, so the USDA did pass a mandate or whatever that they are going to require electronic identification for, I believe it's all cattle that are still sexually intact and 18 months of age or older crossing state lines. So, in spite of
I thought it was voluntary.
Well, that the whole NCBA thing, 'cause that's like NCBA doesn't make laws. Like, they're just basically a lobbying group, I guess.
Yeah.
How you would, but they are the biggest, most powerful one in the cattle industry, for better or worse. And kind of got shot down at their annual convention that NCBA would not push forward with that or encourage the USDA to do it.
Yeah.
Well, but the USDA did it anyway. And so I don't know. I had commented. I think somebody released it on Twitter or whatever, and pretty much said, they're no better than all the other alphabet agencies. Just constantly chipping away at our freedoms.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is disease traceability. It's all
seems like a righteous cause.
What they use, right? That's what they use. But it's and they did pass. I think there's $15 million, which Corbett, I think, had even mentioned that was kind of what was being proposed. Because it's going to cost a lot of money to do it, but I mean that money will get used up, and then who's going to pay for it?
Ukraine.
In years after that, right? And I don't know, the big things. You're like, why do they want this? Well, it's good for the meat packers and the people selling beef, because if we did have like a major disease outbreak, we're going to have trade partners that are not going to want to import beef from us. It'll choke down our exports. But if we've got this exact traceability, we can say, well, it's only this region of the country that was affected.
Yeah.
You may get this trade partner say, okay, well, we'll still import beef, but not from that area, and so that's better for the meat packers. But it's not going to really help out the cattlemen at all, because we know if something like that happens, it's going to tank the cattle markets.
Oh yeah.
Well, whether it should or not. I mean, the greatest example of that ever was just the bird flu in dairy cows that shouldn't have a nickel's worth of impact on the beef industry, and it really significantly impacted the markets here over the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And for no real reason. But so I don't see where it's really going to help the cattlemen at all. A lot of other people point out too that some people have already been doing this for a while, and that's great. Do it if you want to, and there's an opportunity there for them to potentially get a premium, because they're doing something unique,
like the non-GMO crop or the GMO.
Yeah.
I can say, well, we got EID tagged cattle.
Right. If all of a sudden the government said, everything has to be non-GMO, well, there goes your premium for non-GMO, everything. Yep. And so that's the thing too. It's like, well, there goes the premium. So, it'll only affect, like I say, those basically, adult animals over 18 years of age and sexually intact. And so, obviously, steers, if anybody has spayed heifers, they won't be affected. Anything young.
Yeah.
But like we shipped cattle the last couple of weeks, and we didn't ship them across state lines, but a lot of those were cull cows. I mean, they're old cows that are, almost certainly left the state after they went to the sale barn to go to, and I don't know, I really don't know. I'd have to ask.
You talking about these out here?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them were old as shit.
Yeah, some older, classic cull cows,
I bet you some of them were 8 years old or 10 years old.
Oh yeah. And no, I know some of them were.
Might have been 50.
I don't know about that, but and some bulls too, and because I don't really know any big slaughter facilities that would have been in the state that they would have gone to.
Yeah.
And so they almost certainly crossed state lines after they left the sale barn, which doesn't go into effect for 180 days.
From the passing, it's 180 days?
Yeah.
When did it pass? Last Friday?
I guess, I don't know if the clock officially started on Friday, but basically in 6 months. And so I don't know, these buyers that are there buying, these cows go to these kill plants. I really don't know if they then have to, like say we shipped them up there and they didn't have EIDs in.
Isn't the sale barn the one that's got to do it?
Well, that was the thing that Corbett talked about. They were, the sale barns are going to have to do it for a lot of these producers that don't have the facilities or the labor to do it.
That's shitty.
And so then the sale barn would have to, I don't know if like the buyers would have to be like, hey, I bought, that truckload of cows. I need to run them through y'all chute out back here to put an EID in their tag before I can get them out across state lines with them. I don't know. You'd have to, and maybe they're not even sure how that's going to work, and that's why they got 6 months to figure it out. But I really don't know.
If I owned a sale barn and the state was saying, I'd be like, all right, are you going to send me a bunch of state guys out here to help do this?
Well, and I don't even know, like, because it matters when they cross state lines, which the sale barns, they want buyers there no matter what, as many buyers as possible. They don't want to be restricted to, like, well, this group of cows, they hadn't been tagged, so they can't leave the state, because then you're going to have less people bidding on those cattle. And so then they get, it's bad for everybody. And so, they could almost force them to be a willing participant to an extent. I don't know.
That's crap.
But, and of course, the NCBA, we know, wanted it, but they had enough, just pushback, kind of grassroots pushback, that they didn't officially come out in favor of it. But part of me does wonder if, like, behind closed doors, like the upper level people at NCBA
aren't like, yeah.
Well, and if they were even, like, behind closed doors at the USDA, and I hate to, like, throw an accusation like that out there, but it's like, I don't think they were too disappointed when the USDA went ahead and did it.
No. Yeah. Well, I feel like that's just par for the course with, like, the NCBA at this point is more surprising if they aren't disappointing.
Well, and not even to crap on them so much as just the government, just constantly taking away freedoms. Just all in the name of, this is, but it's like anything, it's, who was it? Was it Benjamin Franklin said, those who would sacrifice freedoms, for some safety deserve neither. And I definitely butchered that, but
no, that's
basically, if you're going to sacrifice freedoms, for the benefit of safety, you deserve neither.
Here you go. Let's see. This is a fitting thing. Somebody actually sent me this today.
Okay, I need more jokes, people.
I have a joke for you.
Okay.
The government in this town is excellent and uses your tax dollars efficiently.
That's not really a joke.
I disagree. I find it hilarious.
Okay,
the government using the tax dollars efficiently and is excellent. I never watched Parks and Rec, but I'm a huge Ron Swanson fan.
Yeah, well,
I've watched compilations of him.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I've often thought, I was like, man, if I ever just, like, I don't know, had an accident or something, I couldn't work, whatever, it was just stuck, bedridden or something, that might be something I would just
get a government job.
But, I'd be perfectly qualified. So, here's Ben Franklin. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about that, man. True freedom is dangerous. I mean, it just comes with it like that. I've seen people say stuff like that online, like, well, what are we going to do to stop this? What are we going to do to stop that? And it's like, well, we live in a broken world. It just comes with the territory. I mean, people are nuts. Like,
evil exists. Evil will always exist. There's you can't have. Right. Yeah. Well, and there's the whole, like, the meme with, it's the image and it's two lions, and one's in a cage, at the zoo.
Yeah.
And like it's like, immediately you're like, oh, that's so sad. The other one's like out there on the plains. He's looking all majestic.
Yeah.
And they're like, the one on the left, which is the one behind the cage, has free health care. All his meals are provided for him. He has shelter. Never has to worry about safety. Everything. This is grand. The one on the right has to, is in fear of, or at risk of, having another male, push him out of the pride where, he's gonna, then not, probably starve to death in the next few months. Has to, never knows where his next, obviously all the things that are true in nature, but obviously when you just see the two images, every single person is saying, no, I want to be the lion that's out there, on the plains, of Africa, living his best life of freedom, even though it's a dangerous freedom. He's living that life of freedom. Yeah, and it's true for people too. But we've slowly been willing to give
erosion,
up.
Yeah. And I mean, once they give, and that's why. Look, I've talked about on here, not to get down just a super political path, but like that's why I am adamantly against all gun laws. I am against all gun laws. I think any gun law is unconstitutional because once they start going, they never give them back.
Well, and I mean when they formed the Constitution, the Second Amendment.
It wasn't about hunting.
Well, and it's specific. These dudes were brilliant beyond their years.
Yeah.
Shall not be infringed. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Doesn't say, well, except, maybe we ought to restrict it a little bit, because we don't want civilians to have military. No, shall not be infringed.
Yeah. The dude, when it was written, guys had the same weaponry that the military did.
Oh, people, well, they couldn't get a cannon. Like, now people will share like newspaper clippings where you could literally order a cannon if you wanted to. Yeah.
Well, one thing I do want to touch on real quick before we get done with this episode, talking about the green planting thing. We have entered a stage now where we're showing rain for like the next freaking 14 days. And I have been like pulling my hair out because
me too, man. Can you tell?
Yeah. Well, and I saw a thing and it said like 65 farmers have 65% of their crops planted. And that just was a kick in the nuts because I am not there. Oh, I got to sneeze. I'm not there. And so I'm like, crap. Like, I'm probably 40% planted. And I had been like stressing myself out and all kinds of shit. And then I looked at my notes from last year. This time last year, I had planted. This time last year, I was about 15% planted. And this year, I am 40% planted. So I'm like, well, in the grand scheme of things, I'm significantly further ahead. So, which I'm looking, and the rain shifts and changes. I mean, there's been countless times where I'm expecting it to be raining when I wake up in the morning, it's not, and then I get to work all day. So I'm holding out for that. But where it gets hairy is this. Man, I got a tickle, bad one. I don't know. I got to stare into the light. Isn't that what they tell you to do to make a sneeze go away?
I don't know.
Am I going to be like Trump where he's like looking at the eclipse? His eyes are burning. But the planting green, as much as I love it, one of the difficulties that I've run into is it works great when you can get in and spray immediately. And this is where I am. I got a guy that's helping me out, and I'm teaching him the ropes of spraying and hopefully get him comfortable on the sprayer to where I don't have to stop planting. Because right now I plant for like a couple of days and then I got to go spray. Then I plant for a couple of days and then spray. Well, I had burned down everything that I've planted so far. What I'm getting into now is all green. And when it's green, like on what I've burned down, I've actually been planting it. And the beans have come up some, and I've been going in and I'll tell you what I've been spraying. I did get a guy that reached out to me and said he wishes we would go more in depth on stuff. And I've had a couple other people that are like, man, I'd like for you to go even more in depth on what you do. So I'll kind of go that route here. I'm putting down Zidua, Roundup, and just HSMOC. It's like it's a crop oil type thing. Just kind of hot heatens it. Heating. I don't know what the hell that word. It heats it up. Where heating came from. Heat. But anyways, it heats it up a little bit, makes it a little hotter, and I spray it over the top. And hell, man, it's still pretty damn clean from burn down. But the good thing about it, since it's been burned down, there's not a lot of vegetation out there anyways. So it's not real urgent that I get in there and spray. Well, where it's green, it takes some pretty stout stuff to kill that. Like, I'm actually going to spray Gramoxone on this stuff behind the planter. And the problem you run into is when you got a ton of rain coming, I can jump in there. I could have planted today. And I could have, if I had started really early this morning, I could have planted this one whole farm. It's 150 acres. But I won't, if it rains the next several days, I won't be able to spray it. The beans will be up, and then I'm going to be in trouble. I mean, I could spray Roundup and some other things, but I don't know that it would get a good kill. and I'd probably be fighting that shit all year. So planting green is tricky. You know, if you had a guy that was on the sprayer and you're like almost legitimately, as soon as you're planting it, he's like running right behind you, I could see where you do it, but that's just something to consider if you're wanting to go into the green route. Like, I'm going to actually burn down some more ground. I'm going to kind of get a little bit further ahead of the planter again, because our rain is kind of so crazy this year that I'm like, man, I don't want to get caught again, because right now the planting green has actually slowed me down. Like, I probably could have got another 150 acres knocked out that now I can't, because I've got the rain coming. And so there's always, man, I guess it's just a give and take. It would be the thing. Like, there's no perfect solution, I guess is what I'd say.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's so much nuance and, yeah, tiny little details. Yeah, you couldn't. And from one farm to the next, you know, it's just so many different little details you got to factor in. But
yeah, well, and man, I was wanting to plant this thing today because there's oats on it, and they're probably 3 foot tall, maybe 3 foot tall at least. And man, that it would have been beautiful planting into this. Like, my planter would have done great. My planter is a green planting son of a bitch. That 1245 case, it's got pretty new openers on it. Them spiked closing discs. That joker plants its ass off in green. It actually plants green better than tall stuff that's dead, because if it's dead, all the particles come off of it and it sucks up onto the units, and my monitor goes nuts because the vacuum is getting real high. So I like planting it green a lot better, but you know, I mean, at the end of the day, I got to get the crop in, and so that's what it all boils down to. But yeah, it would have planted good today, man. But then it rained. I was going to spray. I ended up not even getting the spray up there because we got the sprayer up there. I had to spray some other fields. We get there, and it starts raining like 30 minutes after we get there, pretty much. Like, we left because I was looking at the radar. We made the right decision because it started raining, so. But yeah. All right. Well, you want to?
Well, do we want to talk about the last week's Farmer Wants a Wife just briefly?
What happened on that one? Oh yeah, where they did the hometown visits.
First rounds of the hometown visits.
Yeah. Let's hear it. What do you think?
Well, I kind of got the same vibe on Ty and Brandon's visits, where I think they went good. You know, the families liked them. They liked the families.
Yeah.
You know, and of course with Ty, he went to New York with Melody.
Yep.
Brandon went to Milwaukee with Grace.
Was it Milwaukee or Wisconsin?
Well,
yeah. Shit, man, I'm all over the place. Man, damn.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah. Shit.
But and I guess
they're heating, man. Is that heating?
Which, of course, you know Melody from Yonkers, like, you know, that's New York City.
Yeah.
I guess Grace, she's actually from just outside of Milwaukee, but it's like just outside of Milwaukee, like the suburbs.
Yeah.
And so, like, obviously, Brandon lives in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And Ty, you know, not so much the middle of nowhere, but Sykeston, Missouri sure as hell ain't New York City.
Yeah, it ain't no New York City.
And I kind of got the vibe from both of them that they were like, yeah, I don't know
that can pull you away from this.
Yeah. I kind of really got that. Like it almost, you could see it in Ty, like, because one thing we didn't know about Melody, she's like a damn figure skater.
Oh, she's bad. Yeah, man.
Like, not
she's
just
really bad.
like likes to ice skate on the weekends. Like, she apparently took lessons and like.
Well, she did the spinning thing, man. She spun around.
She must have competed, you know, at some point. And it's like, yeah, and I mean, not that she probably wants to ice skate every weekend or anything, you know. Now,
but there ain't a lot of that in Sykeston,
right? And so it's like, man, you know, and so I don't know. I kind of got a negative vibe in terms of, like, could either of those like really work out? And I wondered if they weren't thinking the same thing. But
yeah.
I know then Nathan went to, I guess it was Arizona for Allie.
Yeah.
And that one was fine. Now I think all along we said like Taylor's going to be his one.
Yeah.
And so he's going to visit her. But yeah, that visit was fine. And then Mitchell went to
Sydney's.
Yeah, New Jersey or wherever.
Yeah, that one was interesting, man. Her dad seemed pretty interesting. Like, he was like, definitely, he struck me as a guy that's like, you hurt my daughter, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
But I don't know. I left last week thinking, Nathan, even though it was a good visit with Allie, Taylor's still the one I would peg him for.
Yeah.
Sydney's still the one I would peg Mitchell for. And I don't know about the other two just because it's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Man, I'm still gonna say I'm still team Melody with Ty, just because, like I said, Melody's she's a fan of the show, or she supports the show. I don't know how much she listens to it, but she follows us, and she has mentioned she would like to come on the show. The Bryson, you would be itching for that episode. You'd want to hear that one. But I'm gonna say Melody for Ty. I'm gonna say Grace for Brandon. I'm going back with my original pick.
See, I'm gonna stick to my guns too. I'm gonna say Megan for Ty and Emerson for Brandon.
Yeah.
Just because, and again, I didn't get that negative of a vibe from Brandon and Grace's visit. Because I mean, again, the family was fine, but it was just like, she's
a family person.
I mean, she lives like 20 minutes from downtown Milwaukee or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, like
yeah.
like Brandon lives in a town of like 200 people.
They do have a John Deere dealership like 15 minutes away.
Yeah, but like, and I don't know what
So they can
what
go
you
to
and
John
do
Deere.
for fun in Milwaukee, but like going out, to big fancy restaurants or going to shopping and things like that.
I wonder how many restaurants Brandon has around there.
I don't know.
I wonder if they got like 8 Mexican restaurants.
I know that well, whenever he went and met Emerson for that first day, they were like looks like a little brewery.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Colorado and their little craft breweries.
Yeah, they're kind of hipster town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll stick with my guns. Nothing about Nathan's visit with Allie made me change my mind there.
I do like her better, but I'm still.
I won't say I like her better, but yeah, she's fine. But I think.
Yep. Taylor still got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And then Sydney
and Mitchell, we've been saying that since like episode 1.
If he picks Kate, it will blow my mind. I'll be like, that'd be the biggest damn
All because
surprise.
his mom wants grandkids right away.
Yeah. I mean, literally, she did pull like a Hail Mary of all Hail Marys on that one. So, yeah. All right, guys, y'all need to check it out. Comment below your picks.
Yeah, catch up, and before next Friday, when you listen to our episode with Ty, you'll want to have watched the finale, whatever.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you will get spoilers, and it's not terrible spoilers.
That's what I was gonna say. The whole episode won't be ruined, but some of it will be.
Yeah.
So yeah, do that. You want to cue up our home dog?
The commander-in-chief himself. Oh, where is he? I don't know that he knows.
He doesn't probably know. It's still not on our board, by the way, for people wondering.
2 words. Let me start off with 2 words. Made in America.
I think they know because every week it takes me
They're like, oh,
10,
all
15
right.
seconds to pull him up.
He's loading it up right now. I was going to get this, make sure I tell y'all the right one. I think this is the right one. I have done this company before, but this is a different product this company. And it is it's Trigicon. Man, I love Trigicon. You got any Trigicon optics?
I don't know that I do. I've got I'm trying to think. Are they mainly like red dots and?
A lot of them, but they got the Trigicon AccuScopes now. I thought you got one of those. I got one of those on something.
I got an EOTech on the latest kind of build I did.
Well, EOTech's good too. They're made in USA, but Trigicon, I bought the Palmetto State Armory. They came out, and I've mentioned that company. I love PSA. They make guns that anybody can afford. People like to hate on them because they're affordable, but I bought their Saber Dagger that they put out. Is pretty sick looking, but it's got an RMR cutout on the top of the slide for a red dot. And Trigicon has a little RMR style, and the RMR is like the layout. Like there's different layouts for pistols, but check that out. Made in USA.
There you go.
And I got it in last week. I ordered it from Optics Planet. That's my go-to usually. But the Trijicon RMR, if you are thinking about putting a red dot on a pistol, then that is the freaking way to go. It's a killer optic. I hate to say it because we say this all the time, but I mean, it is expensive. Like it's made in USA. You could buy a Hollow Sun or something that's Chinese made, but I mean, guns are inherently American to me, and so it's like it feels very. It feels kind of dirty.
If the Chinese invade us and you're having to defend yourself, you don't want to be relying on Chinese crap to protect you.
Yeah. I mean, and some guys would look at it as like a good slap in the face for them. Like if you get to shoot a Chinaman that's attacking with a Chinese-made thing, it'd almost be like a slap in the face. But I'd rather.
But I'm worried, like, did they sabotage the manufacturer?
Yeah, like your red dot, they can like adjust it and it's going to be like off.
They're like going to hack into it.
Yeah, you're shooting and it's shooting beside the guy.
I don't think that's possible, maybe.
Hey, but, I don't put much past them.
That they can hack into the grid and, and somehow affect all our optics, but yeah.
Well, I got quite a few Trijicon. I've actually got 2 of their red dots on some ARs, and then this is the first RMR pistol red dot I got, and I've even put on one of my Glock pistols, I've put Trijicon night sights on it. So Trijicon RMR sight, get it, or you're an idiot. And check them out. Trijicon, made in USA. You won't be sad. Won't be sorry.
Yep. Check out agzaga.com, your online ag retailer. Use the discount code TALKDIRT.
Yep.
Check them out. We're not even going to list everything you can get.
No.
Yeah, get your net wrap, get your water hoses, get whatever farm supplies you need. Check with them. The therapies.
Our latest review here on here says, love all the guys. This is from Justinian12. Love all the topics you guys discuss. I'm a grain and cattle farmer from Indiana and also use the code for AgZaga to get some Patriot wrap. Keep up the good work.
That means he also got his American flag, his made in the USA American flag.
Like a real American.
But,
all right, use that code TALKDIRT, all one word, all caps. Like I said, next week, guys, Ty Farrell will be on the show.
Right here with us, Farmer Ty. Y'all check it out.
Check it out. You'll, even if you're like I said, if you're a hater of the show, you've probably never watched it, but 2, check it out because it's fascinating. You're going to hear a different world than what you're used to hearing.
It's a lot of beautiful ladies. I mean,
there is. Yeah, I mean,
they're not hard to look at.
Yeah. That ought to be a pretty good draw from, I would say, 99% of our listeners.
And for our female audience, there's some good-looking dudes on there too.
Yeah, Ty's a handsome fella. Yeah. Bobby Lee and I felt a little insecure when he was here. All right, guys, y'all tune in. Leave us a rating and review. Comment your Rushmore or your top 3 of the rock or country on YouTube or message us. We want to know. Catch y'all next week.
See you then.